I really have not sat down and talked about the negative side of running a small business. I am like so tired right now and I need caffeine. It's starting to give me a headache whenever I don't have caffeine first thing in the morning, because that's unfortunately what I've got my body used to. So I have my little backpack on. There's a Starbucks that opened in my neighborhood not too long ago. So we're gonna do a little fall hot girl walk to go get a coffee this morning. I did also bring my iPad with me because I think I'm gonna just kind of like work on some doodles, some drawings for Coastal Boutique maybe, or just plan out like more posts. Yeah, I don't know why I get like such bad headaches all the time if I don't have caffeine, so I'm hoping this will be helpful. It's about like a mile walk from my house to the Starbucks. And actually, I do kind of want to like sit down and really talk to you guys later, because there's like some things that have been on my mind lately about running a small business that are just like maybe obstacles to get through, or like some negative downsides of having a small business. I was thinking maybe after I have my caffeine and I'm a little bit more awake for the day, we can kind of talk through some more not as talked about things of like what it's like actually having a small business. So stay tuned for that. Okay, it's low-key getting hot outside and I'm wearing all black, but thank God. I was gonna wear a sweatshirt and at the last second I was like, yeah, I don't think I need it. Okay, I'm back home from Starbucks. It actually ended up being exactly 1 mile there and back, so 2 miles in total. Also, yes, I'm missing some nails. That's just kind of a representation of what this video is going to be like today. I ended up getting a matcha for some reason. I don't know why. When I was there, I just couldn't figure out a coffee that I wanted, so went with the matcha. But now it's time to have an honest conversation about what it's like to be a small business owner. If you guys have been following my journey for some time, I started a small jewelry business, mostly doing 18 karat gold filled bracelets back in November of 2024. So we're coming up on 1 year of being in business so far. And you guys have seen a lot on my channel of working on the business, doing photo shoots, sending out products to people, coming up with ideas and more of the creative kind of side of things. But I really have not sat down and talked about the negative side of running a small business. And I think this is equally as important because I am a smaller channel, yes. However, I do feel like I'm starting to accumulate an audience of people that are inspired by my small business journey and who maybe want to start something similar themselves. And I just want you to know what you're getting into by doing so. Not to scare you, but I don't know. I feel like I typically have a pretty big filter on my channel. I'm usually a pretty positive person. Today, I'm gonna actually try to not be as positive and just get into the nitty-gritty negative things about owning a small business. I made a whole list of things while I was at the coffee shop, and I'm excited to just dive right into them. I feel like the obvious thing that is negative of starting a business is it's a monetary investment. As someone who is in the very middle range earning bracket for my 9 to 5, my consistent income, I don't necessarily have a bunch of extra money just to throw away, but I decided to take a chance on myself and start a business, which obviously requires capital to start with. So I didn't necessarily just start throwing thousands of dollars at this business to start. I kind of just took it like step by step and started getting materials over time, and that has kind of snowballed throughout the last year into just a continuous line of spending for my business. So I'm gonna get into the numbers of what I've spent, and it's honestly a little bit embarrassing, but I don't know. If anyone else has a small business, maybe you can back me up in the comments for this. I'm just looking at these numbers, I feel kind of stupid, honestly, if I'm being totally transparent. I'm gonna get really specific on exactly what I'm spending money on, how often my reoccurring expenses are happening, and things like that. But just so you guys know, like I said, I started this business in November last year, so we'll just round it and say 1 year. I have spent $6,302 on this business. That's probably not even everything. $6,000, guys. Like, if someone gave you $6,000 right now, like, that's a decent amount of money that you can do something with. So for me, spending that just on the things we're gonna get into, it's bugging me a little bit because it just doesn't stop. I keep having recurring expenses and like they're necessary to operate this business. That's kind of some of the frustration I'm having, and we'll get into that, don't worry. But on the flip side, I have made $2,013. So I'm still in the hole, or my net loss business to date is $4,288, which, again, $4,000 is a lot to be out of pocket, basically. And it's not really on like fun things, it's on inventory, it's on marketing. I'll go through it here. Month to month, my expenses are about $50 on Shopify. It does vary a little bit because it's depending on how many orders I'm actually shipping out, because I do have the shipping cost out of pocket every month. So some months it's as low as like $39, other months it's been as high as about $60. Adobe to edit content on is $25 a month. Canva, I do pay for the yearly subscription, but it's $120 a year, aka $10 a month. My PO box fee is charged every 3 months and it's $85, so that equals about $28 a month. And then usually I end up spending at least like $50 to $100 on materials or something for the business each month. So that right there is like $150 at the bare minimum of what I can spend month to month. So if I'm not at least making about $150 each month, then I'm not even breaking even and I'm just going further into debt. So I think that is kind of like the big thing that's like weighing on my mind, is that the longer I'm going through my months of consistent overhead spending and I'm not really seeing like an uptick in growth of sales in my business, that's kind of what's making me worry a little bit. Now, when I set out my journey of having a small business, I set a goal for myself to at least give it my all for a few years, and that's what I'm gonna try my best to do. However, it is a little bit draining when I'm seeing that my efforts aren't really converting over to sales. Also, keep in mind 100% of what the sales have been so far, so that like roughly $2,000, it's all just gone right back into the business. So I don't really pay myself any of those funds. I don't think it's enough to pay myself yet at this point. It all just kind of goes back into, you know, buying things on Amazon, buying marketing things for my booth. And that's another thing where I'm just like pausing for a second with the inventory I have and mentally just kind of asking myself, hey, is it worth it if we're not selling our current inventory to keep going out and buying new stuff? Because I'm going to show you guys in a second too, like the inventory I do have on hand and why it's a little bit frustrating to try to create new things. I actually just put out a big fall launch. I launched like a bunch of new bracelet products. I did an entire photo shoot with my friends downtown, which it's super fun to do those things and it's very exciting to express my creative side and kind of mix that with business. However, it's a little disappointing when I put so much work and effort into the marketing, into renting out a photo studio, and then I have 0 sales on my entire campaign. So in my brain, it's just difficult right now getting over that hurdle of like wanting to create more when I haven't even sold the inventory that I have right now. That's where I'm mentally struggling a little bit, is not wanting to pour even more of my resources into creating something new when I already have so much going on. Some other things that are a little bit negative as well when you're operating a business is people will think you know what you're doing all the time and you're a very well-established business. And what I mean by that is people constantly DM me on Instagram or Facebook or through my Shopify email and ask for free products constantly. I also get asked for donations a lot by organizations or random people just wanting me to donate to random causes. That's fine and everything. I'm actually doing a breast cancer campaign soon because it's something I'm passionate about, but it just throws me off because I'm like, people think I make money. Like I just shared, I'm literally negative. I I'm not making money out here. I feel bad though because it's like local charities or things in my community that like I would love to be able to donate to, but it's like I'm literally negative and I'm just a girl. Now I have done influencer campaigns before, and I'm actually sending out a few this week to try to spread awareness for my fall campaign. But again, it's just me sending things for free to people and just hoping they'll tag. So I don't know, that's a lot. The other thing that makes me so annoyed is my email every single week is blown up, same with Instagram DMs, with people that are from like consulting firms overseas being like, hey Alyssa, I am Raphael and I work with ABC Consulting and I was taking a look at your Shopify. You could be doing so much better in converting sales, like just work with us and we'll get you from this to this. It's like I don't even have, no, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I just block everyone or delete their emails because it's like, A, you're not even in America. 2, again, I'm not an up and operating business. 3, I can't afford to even have a company do that. 4, like I'm just not big enough. It's just me, myself, and me. I do not need someone to manage my social media platform. I don't need a fulfillment center for orders. Like it's literally me in my house. That's what we have going on. People will ask if I'm like looking for someone to manage the cash flow, manage the finances, manage social media, manage my marketing. It's like, no, like I don't need that, thank you. On the flip side of people thinking you have your entire business together, there is also the people that constantly are going to try to tell you what to do with your business. And if it's justified and I asked, that is completely different. But it's a lot of the time people that I did not ask their opinion at all, and they're like, you should do this, or you should make XYZ, or you should do this kind of market, you need to do blah blah blah, you should change your colors for this. It's like, you are not running my business. If you want to start your own thing, by all means go ahead. So there is like a few people in my life that I love to bounce ideas off of. My friend Michaela also has a small business doing tanning, and then my friend Sarah has always been like a ride or die, and she's been really helpful to me too throughout this whole process. Same with any business owners in my life or people that are also in like the hustler, entrepreneur kind of areas of my life. Those are the kinds of people that I bounce ideas off of. But the people that love to tell me random ideas and things are just people that have not run a business before, people that they themselves probably wouldn't even buy a product from me. So I don't know, I'm just kind of picky with like who I'm even taking advice from, but you're always gonna have someone in your ear telling you a way they want your business to operate. Okay, I have like 2 more things that are more of like the difficult things that I've been dealing with, and one is the pricing of my materials. I do have 18 karat gold filled beads, which are a little on the more spendy side for purchasing materials for, and I do know that like competitor brands charge more actually, but have even less quality products than me. So I don't know, I'm just struggling a little bit with how to price my products. I don't really know how to do that. I do not have any formal education on marketing or running a business specifically, so that's kind of something that I want to focus my energy more on if this is going to be something I can maintain for a few more years. The very last thing that's been a little bit of a con for me as well is I live in Minnesota, and obviously doing markets in the summer is great. However, in the winter when it's really cold and snowy, I don't really see myself doing markets at that time. You never know, I could be surprised and there could be a really great opportunity to do an indoor event, but I don't know. For me, it's like Coastal Boutique is more of a summer themed company. I may try to do something in the winter, but it doesn't really seem very aesthetic to me to be like inside of a church building or a school, something like that, where I don't really have a ton of say over what my entire booth looks like. So we'll see. This would be my first winter doing markets, and honestly, so far in the summer, it has been really fun to, you know, get to know local vendors and go to organized events all together and kind of set up shop by one another. I have a handful of vendor friends that I've made, but I think like summer definitely is where my business shines, so I'm a little bit like on edge kind of going into more of the colder months here. But that's kind of everything like negative I wanted to share right now with my business. I just feel like I haven't been 100% transparent, and I feel a lot better just sharing realistically what's been going on behind the scenes with you guys. Because again, I just don't want to mislead anyone and have it seem like it's all sunshine and rainbows and we're making $1,000 sales every week. Like, that's literally not the case. Over the past year, I've made $2,000 and I've spent $6,000. Anyone who tries to tell you that starting a business is easy has not run a business before. And I do realize I'm privileged with the fact that this is one of my income streams. I actually have 3 now. I have YouTube/content creation, selling bracelets, and then my 9 to 5, which is my most consistent source of income, obviously, that pays all my bills. But I just wanted to kind of end on a positive note again, because this is what I am known for, as being more of a little ray of sunshine, I think. So the pros of having a small business, it's so fun to just show my creativity. It's crazy, like, seeing on social media people will be just holding their coffee in a picture and my bracelets are on their wrist. It's fun to see that, like, things I've actually physically created myself are being used and appreciated, not only just in Minnesota but across the entire United States. I've had orders in like random states that I never would have thought I've had an order for. It's also just so fun and girly. If you look at my Instagram page for this business, it is pink, it is pastel, we have fun, vibrant colors. No matter what time of the year it is, I'm always doing something fun on there with the marketing. It is exhausting doing marketing, like it drains 100% of my energy every single week, but I wouldn't have it any other way because it's so pretty. I think at some point I'll get burnt out, but we're not quite there yet, I don't think, so bear with me. I love having photo shoots with my friends. It's super fun just to learn new things about having a small business. It's always been a dream of mine to eventually have a business one day, and I've honestly started like a few different businesses. I tried to do a painting company back in like 2018. It was called Alyssa Paints, and I kind of stopped doing that when I was in college. I also tried to do a digital art company called Doodle Loon because I live in Minnesota and our state bird is the loon. That didn't work out, and so now this is 3rd time's the charm of me trying to start a business, and I think this one is probably gonna stick around the best. I like Coastal Boutique because it's very flexible. If I ever wanted to start doing wholesale, I could. If I wanted to start doing apparel, I could. If I wanted to open a storefront one day, I could. Like, the options are a little bit more open, I think, with having just a general boutique name than like a specific niche of painting or digital art. So what does that mean for Coastal Boutique moving forward? I hope no one's interpreting this as I'm giving up on my business or I am debating shutting it down. That's not the case. I just wanted to share. As of September of 2025, 1 year into starting a business, these are the struggles that I'm having. So moving forward, I do want to focus more on my education around owning a business. It sucks, but again, I think I'm gonna try to invest more money into just my knowledge around a business. So either like some sort of e-commerce marketing education course, whether it's on Google or through an institution or a university. I want to also learn specific boutique education. I know there's a lot of online courses that are specific to boutique owners, how to price things, how to find your audience, where to get the best materials and vendors from. So I think those 2 are going to be my main focuses moving forward, because I'm just kind of messing around right now and doing whatever feels fun to spend money on, but realistically it's not going to help with my like long-term growth or goals. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. If there's any fellow boutique owners or small business owners in the comments that have any advice for me, if you've had your business maybe operating a little bit longer, you're a little bit more profitable, let me know any advice you have, because like I said, I'm kind of just in a null right now. So that's everything I really wanted to share in this video. I actually have an order to pack up right now for my friend Sarah. Like I said, she's been a very supportive friend of mine and I really appreciate her. So we're gonna be packing up like kind of a fun neutral themed order for her. So I'm probably gonna do that just on my phone with like more of a short version. So with that being said, definitely make sure to follow my Instagram if you want to stick around and see some of the fun content I'm making. If you yourself want to place an order on Coastal Boutique, guess what? I have a promo code for you. You can use LEAVES for 20% off your order, and that will be in the description. I don't know if you guys saw these earlier when I was at Starbucks, but these are really cute. I handmade them, and every single order of $30 or more ships free, and you get a free sticker. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it was just nice to hear a different perspective other than like, hey, everything's going great. Hopefully I will be able to see you guys in my next video too. Bye.